to this week's edition of The Corporate World. My name is Samuel. I will be your host, as today we discuss revolutionizing our kitchen using electric pressure cookers. Over 90% of households in this our country, Uganda, utilize firewood and charcoal for their cooking. These, however, are problematic as we know that, for one, they have an effect on our environment, with more and more trees being cut down for us to get charcoal and reducing the plant cover on this our planet. That is for one. And then on the other hand, we know that the prices of charcoal have been increasing every other time. So it is not sustainable for us to keep using these for something we do every other day. For we know we cook lunch, we cook supper. And if at all you don't cook, wherever you're getting your food, they cook, right? So today we're going to be discussing something new, a new innovation, which is going to help us in our kitchens. On the show, I have some guests today who have something new, something they're very excited about, and something they'd like to share with us. We shall have Mr. James Banabe, Mrs. Betty Wangota, and we shall also have chefs taking us through the demonstration on how to use the pressure cookers that we're introducing to the rest of you today. But before we get there, I'd like to introduce my guests here in the studio who are with me and have them share with you their ideas and their knowledge and their experiences with this electric pressure cooker. Good afternoon to you, Mr. James.
Good afternoon, Sam.
Yes, I would like to welcome you to this our studio. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for sparing your time to come here to Deliverance Church Kira, where we are recording. I hope your week has been good.
Yeah, everything is fine.
Yes. Betty, I'd also like to welcome you. Thank you for sparing time. Thank you for joining us. Yes. So we shall start with Mr. James. Could you please share with us what is this that you're introducing to our congregation, to our people here? Why do you have this passion for this which you're talking about, the electric pressure cookers? And why do you want every other home in Uganda to switch from using firewood and charcoal to these electric pressure cookers? Please.
Yeah, thank you for this opportunity that you've given me. I'll give a bit background on how I first interacted with, we call it e-cooking, meaning cooking with electricity.
Yes, please.
It was in 2018 when I attended a conference in Addis Ababa. I came across, a gentleman called Mr. Simon Batchelor, who is he works for Modern Energy Cooking Services. He made a presentation on how cooking was beginning to shift from charcoal and gas to cooking with electricity, and he introduced me to the electric pressure cooker. It was a big surprise for me. I almost said, but that's not possible for us in Uganda, where we think electricity is very expensive. So that time I was working in the Ministry of Energy and Mineral Development. I was the director. And later on, when I retired in 2020, I joined the consulting world. I'm now a consultant. And I see the passion, I see the need for energy for cooking, especially cleaner energy for cooking.
Yes.
As you earlier on hinted on, charcoal is becoming very scarce. It's very expensive. Many times when even I go to the village, I have people who keep asking me, can you get us some energy to cook with? Can you get us some firewood? Can you get us some charcoal? So it's becoming a big problem.
Yes, yes.
And therefore, I find it very appropriate for us to inform our people wherever we can that there is a better way we can do our cooking that doesn't cost as much as the current methods that people are using, especially charcoal, that also has health challenges. Many of you have had cases where some people have died cooking with charcoal, especially in a closed environment, because of the carbon monoxide that comes off if you don't give it enough air. But we also know that when you use firewood and you use charcoal, there are some gases that it emits if the stove you're using is not very efficient. So there is a health dimension to it. there is a money part of it. There's an environment dimension to it. And therefore, I think it's something worth investing one's time in, letting the people know that we can transit from the traditional methods of cooking to cooking with electricity.
Which you've called e-cooking.
Which we call e-cooking.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you for that. Betty, we'd like to pass all our attention onto you. Could you please share with us your experience with using this the electric pressure cooker? How has it been, looking at Betty of old who used to use whatever it was, and now Betty who uses the electric pressure cooker?
Thank you very much, Sam. I'm glad to be here. Thank you for having me. I started using this pressure cooker in 2023, that's last year. And for a year now, I do not regret ever getting one. Before getting this pressure cooker, I was using charcoal and gas for cooking. Like you have heard, the prices of charcoal these days and firewood, and they keep going up. And at that time, it was becoming very expensive for us to make meals as a family. We used to buy this half sack of charcoal because that was the cheapest of 60,000 to try and help us, take us through the month. And at 60,000, and yet not assured of the quality of the charcoal. So if it were me cooking, a mother at home, it would work for a month, and then you look for money for another sack of charcoal. But if we got holiday makers for support, that would only survive for 2 weeks, and it meant every other 2 weeks you had to come up with 60,000 to buy another batch of charcoal. So it got very expensive, and when this was introduced to me, I decided to take it up. Yeah, so there are times when that charcoal would get done at the moment when you actually do not have the 60,000. So it meant that you would go to this business of 2,000, 3,000, and in the long run it would be very expensive. And what would the 3,000 shillings charcoal do if you're doing a meal with beans, dry beans?
Yes.
It meant you're going to cook only beans or add on more charcoal to make sure that the beans are ready. Yeah, so I just thank God that we got to know about this electric pressure cooker, and at least we have been saving on the money that we've been using for fuel for cooking. Before I leave that charcoal business, the stress of lighting the charcoal, whose quality you don't know.
Oh yes.
We with children, you send a child to light the sigiri, and the charcoal is of poor quality. The child will tell you, "Mommy, I've finished." And then when you go to check on the sigiri after 10 minutes, it died long time ago.
Exactly.
You have to do it again. Get, those OJ. In Uganda, they say ojo mliro.
Yes.
And that will take you like 30 minutes of just lighting sigiri.
You've not yet even started cooking.
You've not started cooking. Already you're stressed. Already you're stressed. Maybe you're from work and you're stressed. So this pressure cooker has saved us, not only on the money, like I was saying, 60,000 in a month if I'm the one cooking, 60,000 in a month on charcoal, and then you have electricity of 30,000 in a month to do the ironing, the water boiling, all those things, lighting, TV. But ever since we got the pressure cooker, I only do 30,000 shillings.
Only 30?
Only 30,000 shillings for cooking, lighting, ironing, television, and before you know it, a 60,000 on the budget, it's off. So it saves a lot of money. It also saves time, like I said. The sigiri you're taking 30 minutes to light. This is instant. put in your foodstuffs, switch on, press where you're supposed to press. Say you're cooking rice, it will only take you 10 minutes and the rice is ready. So you don't have children around you are saying, "Mommy, we are hungry, you're struggling to light the sigiri.
Yes.
So it has saved us time. A meal that you'd take 1.5 hours cooking using sigiri or firewood, use only 30 minutes.
The same 30 minutes you'd have used to light it.
The same 30 minutes you'd have used to light the sigiri. So it saves on time, it saves on money, but also the consumption of power is very small.
Yes.
Yes, it is very small. Yeah, then the other thing is it's very you're able to multitask.
Okay.
When you're lighting the sigiri, you're there for the 30 minutes to make sure that the sigiri has cold. But with this one, when I put in my things, like I've said, you switch on, you're able to go away and do other things while the meal is cooking. So you're cooking, you're ironing, or you're mopping, or you're washing clothes, and when it alarms, the meal is ready, but you've accomplished another task. Yeah, so it's a very good way of saving, of helping, especially wives in the kitchen. You need it. Every woman needs it to simplify your life.
Yes.
To cool down your emotions when they're asking you for food, and the sigiri is not cooperating. So it is good for you as a woman. Please, you can get from your company of Echala and buy yourself this pressure cooker. It will save you.
So your advice to all of those who are still using them, the charcoal, the firewood, is to switch. Please switch. It will save you a lot of money, a lot of time, a lot of stress. Exactly. In your cooking. Yes. And you will enjoy your cooking. Where you would have cooked one thing on the sigiri because already it has stressed you for 30 minutes. With a pressure cooker, you're able to cook many more other things in the shortest time possible. Oh, okay. Yes. Okay. Our viewers, I hope you've learnt a lot from the sharing from Mr. Banabe and Betty. We shall come back to the studio, but for now, we shall take some time in the kitchen, because up until this point, you have only had words. You have not yet been able to see what the electric pressure cooker looks like. You have not yet been able to interact with it, have an idea of what you would be introducing to your kitchen. So we shall take a short break, join our chefs in the kitchen, see what we can do with the electric pressure cooker, then we shall be right back. I am here with chefs Chloe and Esther, and they are going to show you how this our electric pressure cooker looks, and show you how you can actually use it to prepare foods. You're not going to just hear words, but you're going to see. So, Chef Chloe, good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon to you.
Yes, could
once
you
again.
please explain this which is before our eyes, the different parts that make it up, and anything else concerning cleaning, concerning any other use that our viewers would like to know.
Okay, thank you so much. This is our pressure cooker, and I'm going to show you how to use it and how to clean it. So this is the main pressure cooker, and inside here it's the hot plate. The hot plate is here, and this
Okay.
is our menu
Okay,
on top.
on this screen here.
Yes, the screen. So, and this is our pan.
Okay.
And I always advise the clients not to put a wet pan
It should
in a
always
hot
be
pan.
dry.
It's always to be dry and avoid water in this
In this, the hot plate.
yes, hot plate. And this is how you put it here.
You slip it in.
Yes.
Okay.
So
I'm
and
seeing there are labels here.
labels, some measurements
All those
where
are the
where you
measurements,
don't have to exceed water.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh, that is nice. I'm seeing it has even measurements in cups, right?
Yes, in
Oh.
cups, and this is a pressure cooker of 6 liters.
Okay.
So, and here we have our cover. This is how we use our cover. Just have to press it like this. And then you twist it.
Oh, okay.
And then this is how you open.
Oh, and then you lift
So,
it.
after closing, so you just have to turn this valve whenever you're cooking.
Okay.
You turn it on your left to avoid to waste
Oh, so that
energy.
it builds
So
the pressure inside.
yeah, to build the pressure inside.
Okay.
So, and today for me, I'm going to demonstrate for you in cooking matoke in a
Oh.
pressure cooker.
Okay.
And it will take us like 20 minutes to boil matoke. So let me pass the mic to my colleague.
Chef Esther.
Yes.
Yes, so Chef Esther, good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon to you
Yeah.
too.
Could you please explain to the viewers and I the different foods that we can prepare with this, and which foods maybe we cannot? Can we bake with this? Can we fry with this? What else can we do with it that maybe I've not mentioned? And what must we not prepare in this the electric cooker?
Okay, thank you so much. So, about 80% of our foods in Uganda can be cooked using this pressure cooker.
Okay.
So, as you can see, this one in specific, it has different foodstuffs
On its menu.
on the front part of it.
Okay.
So we can have rice, we can cook rice, we can cook matoke, we can cook sweet potatoes.
Okay.
We can also cook cassava, though it's not there, but it can also be cooked.
Okay.
So we can also have a variety of sauces like beef, peas, beans, and so many others.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, the beauty about this pressure cooker is you can also bake a cake in it.
Oh, you can bake in it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the stress of using the oven, preheating it and all that is no more, because this pressure cooker, immediately you prepare your cake, put it in, and then let the heat build up for 30 minutes. Your cake is ready to serve
Oh, okay.
and consume.
Okay.
So that's the beauty about this pressure cooker.
Mm.
And another thing is that it's very easy and conducive to use. It's a clean, like we said, it's a clean cooking.
Yes.
Yeah, it keeps your environment intact.
There is no
It
smoke,
doesn't-
there is no such.
No, it
Okay.
doesn't mess up your working area,
Mm.
and it saves time.
Okay.
So as for us, we are going to be cooking beef in this.
Okay.
Yeah, so we are going to show you how we are going to heat it up, put the beef and what time we are going to set it for our beef to cook, and it will take us about 23 minutes to cook our beef.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'd like to ask, how do you know that it's going to need this exact amount of time? Are there certain ratios that are given to you within the manual that you know that for this much beef, for this many kilos, I will need this much time, or for this and this and this, I will need this? And also, is it that you punch in the time, or the machine is automated in such a way that it can tell how much time what you've put inside needs?
We have menus for these EPCs,
Okay.
and they help guide us, but we also have these buttons here.
On the screen.
They are self-explanatory.
Yes.
When you're going to cook rice, you can just click the button and it will definitely show you what time it's going to take to cook the rice.
Okay.
So it's like self-explanatory.
Okay.
So you'll get to know
Okay.
the time. Yeah,
So you just have to put the rice, put it inside, and then hit the button, yeah?
definitely.
Oh,
yes.
okay. So it is not that I need to memorize the time. I just need to weigh as much rice as I need, and then I set it inside, and then the machine will do the rest.
Yeah, you just need to know how many cups of water you need to put in the
Oh,
rice,
yes.
and then you need to know where the button is.
Okay.
Then you just click it.
Oh, okay, okay. I think we can go forward with the preparations. Our viewers, we can follow as the chefs do their thing.
As for me, I'm going, as you can see, I've come with my banana stems
Yes.
using onyo.
Okay.
I'm putting here. So for the pressure cooker case, you don't have to put a lot of water. You have to mind the measurements of water
Okay.
you're putting in it. So I'll just need, so for better results, I would always recommend someone to use some warm water
Oh, okay.
to quicken the heating of the raising of
So it is better for you to first of all boil it before you come and cook, eh?
yes.
So that you save time twice, not just using. Okay.
Exactly. So this water is enough for us, and I'm going to set 20 minutes. It will be enough for us to cook
To cook
matoke.
the matoke.
Yes.
So it is essentially the same way as if you are using a charcoal stove. So our users don't have to learn any new technique, right? They just have to use a different machine.
You can also, so for me, I'm cooking matoke, but you can do the same
The
way,
same
like,
exact way you're doing it.
the same exact way the way I'm doing it. When you're going to cook matoke, yams, pumpkin, etc., any
Oh,
dry
okay.
food. Yes. So I'm going to.
So then we seal it.
add water. So you would excuse me. I'm going to add a little water.
Okay.
That will be enough.
Then now we close it.
So we are here going to close.
I'm seeing there are different instructions here on the top of the cover concerning safety while using it. Could you explain? Maybe as you have set it here, because you have used it many times, but our different people who are viewing online, they have no idea. This may be their first time.
These are just cautions.
Yes, please.
So the words that are indicated here. So whenever you're done cooking, you just have to raise.
The valve,
Yes, and you remove your face or your hands. So these are just caution. You have to mind
Oh, okay.
like your face and your hands.
Okay. I think we
Yes.
shall see them as we continue to cook, right?
So can you allow me to start as I?
Yes, feel free. We shall now switch to Chef Esther. So Chef Chloe is now switching it on. She is going to set her machine to cook with matoke. Is it plugged in?
Yes.
So we shall now switch to Chef Esther, who is preparing beef.
Yeah. So we have our beef and
Our vegetables are already
our
cut.
vegetables plus our spices.
So this beef, you roast it before you put it inside, right?
Yeah, you roast it before you put it inside so that
Okay.
it helps with the taste will be smoky. It will give
Okay.
a smoky taste and it will also help fasten.
Oh, okay.
So we are going to put in everything.
Yes, the onions, the green pepper, the what?
Yes. Make sure everything is well balanced. And then we shall put in our salt. That's our spices.
Okay.
So we are going to put in a little bit of water.
Okay. So now we are adding water.
Yeah, we are going to put in water, but we put in little according to what you want to consume.
Oh, okay.
Because when you put excess, it produces its own water, so you don't have to put that much.
Okay.
So I think that's going to be enough for us.
Okay. So now we seal it, right?
Yeah. So we are going to set it. As you can see, there are instructions here. We are going to put it on
Meat, yes.
meat, and then we shall add a little more time.
Because I'm seeing they have these different buttons which show the different sauce. So if you want soup of whatever kind, cowpeas, chicken, fish, we just push that, right?
Yeah.
Okay, then it will set the time for us and we shall.
Yes, it's up to you to either increase or decrease.
Okay. So for now our part is done, right? And then what does the machine do to let us know that the food is ready?
So when the food is ready, it will bring a clicking sound.
Okay, there's an
That's-
alarm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
So until we hear the alarm, we can just rest. We do not have to keep checking, right?
No.
Oh, okay. So we can go and do other things like what Betty told us.
Yeah, you can go chill, watch TV, go on TikTok. do
Whatever it is.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, okay.
So we are going to turn the valve
Yes,
for the pressure not to
escape.
escape. And yeah.
Okay, so I think that is it from the kitchen.
Yeah.
Exactly. So if we want to cook other foods which are maybe not shown on the screen, does the manual show us that in case I want to cook this and this and yet it is not here, I can still set it to this other food and the machine will work?
I think it does. But some foodstuffs are not, every EPC has its own what?
Oh, okay.
Its own different foodstuffs on the menu. But
Okay.
however, those other foodstuffs that can be like yams, cassava, they can also be cooked from the EPC with or without the foodstuffs being written on it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how do you maneuver in that case?
So, for example, we are going to cook cassava and it's not on the menu.
Yes.
We either put it on matoke,
Oh,
which will
okay.
take 7 minutes, or if you're not really sure about what time it will take, you add an extra 2 minutes just to be sure.
And then you don't have to do anything else, right? You just leave it to cook as though you are cooking still
Yeah.
the matoke.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So about the baking, could you please explain that more? Because baking and cooking, they are a bit different.
So about the baking, there's not much science about the baking.
Okay.
All you have to do is mix your ingredients. I don't know what cake you're going to bake, whether lemon, whether what. So when you mix, then you pour it inside. Make sure your pan is greased with oil
On the inside.
on the inside.
Yes.
Then pour in the cake. Close it. It's supposed to be closed tightly. And then we make sure that the valve is also closed. Then we set it to 30 minutes. So exactly 30 minutes our cake would be ready.
Okay. Would you say that using this EPC reduces the time needed for the baking to still go on, or?
Yeah, it reduces the time needing for the baking to still go on.
Okay.
Because it saves time actually. Because the time you use on an oven is different compared to the time you use with an APC.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And then, Chef Chloe, are there other things we need to know as pertains to cleaning it? Is there a specific way that the cover is cleaned that these other parts are not?
Anyways, this one, for as long as you avoid pouring water in the
hot plate?
hot plate and putting the pan when it is dry, there is no any logic. And you make sure that your electricity is stable.
Okay.
Yes, because they might cause a burst in case your electricity is not stable.
Okay, so you don't have to take this whole thing to the sink and wash it. Only the pan inside.
Only the pan.
Oh, okay. So I think we shall come back when the food is ready. For now, we shall return to the studio. Thank you, our chefs.
Thank you too.
We shall return and you will push us on from there.
Okay.
Yeah, so we shall go for a brief break and then we shall return in the studio discussing more issues pertaining to the EPC with our guests. So stick around, rest a bit. I will see you back in the studio. viewers, I'd like to welcome you back to the studio, where I'm still joined by Mr. Banabe and Betty. So we shall continue our discussions concerning the EPC while our chefs are busy in the kitchen. We shall return to them shortly when the food is ready. But for now, we shall continue engaging with this Mr. Banabe, and we shall see whatever else we need them to enlighten us on concerning the EPC. Those different questions we have, he's going to answer them, such that going forward, by the time we leave this show, every one of you starts looking for an EPC. So, Mr. Banabe, I'd like to ask you, I've heard a lot about how the EPC saves cash-wise. I hear that you can cook a meal while spending only power worth 300 shillings. First of all, is that true? And secondly, what is the science behind it?
Yeah, thank you, Sam. It's actually true that you can prepare a meal with less than 300 shillings. It's because of the science that is embedded in this technology. Now, most of our viewers will know the traditional electric pressure, the traditional pressure cooker, which is where you have, whenever the steam would reach a certain level, there will be a valve releasing it. Those were which we call manual pressure cookers, the old types. Now this time around, they have introduced a thermostat.
Okay.
First of all, the cooking is, the heat is being provided by a hot plate, which is within the pressure cooker. And once the pressure has built up to something that has been set, it could be a temperature of around 120. Once that temperature has been reached, it will cut off power consumption. But because it has already raised some steam within the enclosed vessel, that steam will continue the cooking.
Okay.
In other words, once power is cut off, the cooking continues. This is mainly because when you're cooking, it's not energy that you really require, but you require a certain temperature. The energy helps you reach a certain temperature.
Okay.
So if you can get that temperature and retain it without dropping, you'll be able to continue your cooking. And that's the reason why that hot plate will eventually work for only 25% of the time.
Okay.
Compared to what you would have spent using consuming electricity if you're using the ordinary cooking. Now, the thermostat does that just like you have a flat iron. When you're having a flat iron, whenever the heat temperature is attained, the flat iron switches off itself and then comes back again. So in the same way, the electric pressure cooker will later on pick up more power to raise the pressure if the pressure drop has been attained. So it may take about 10 minutes, okay, maybe 5-6 minutes not consuming any more power.
Okay.
And then when the pressure drops, it will consume maybe for just a minute and then again go back in that saving mode.
Okay.
But also it's well insulated. When you touch it, it doesn't
lose heat.
It's not hot, so it doesn't burn, implying that it also doesn't lose much heat by radiation.
Okay.
So you have a thermostat, you have a well-insulated vessel, and then you are cooking under high pressure. And when you cook under high pressure, you take a shorter time. And so that's how it's able to save. You end up using time, okay, you end up consuming power for a shorter time than you would have consumed if you are using ordinary cooking under normal pressure.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I think that correlates with what Betty told us about spending 30,000 for cooking as well as everything else that the 30,000 was working on. Oh, okay. Then again, Mr. Banabe, could you explain what a cooking tariff is and how we utilize it to benefit us using the EPC?
Okay. Government came up with a cooking tariff through the regulator, that is the Electricity Regulatory Authority. Now, that cooking tariff applies when you have bought more than 80 units. So when you go to buy your units, the first 80 units, okay, the first 15 units, there will be the lifeline. You buy them at the lowest cost. I think it's about 200 something, or 240 shillings. Then the next units from 15 up to 80 will be the normal tariff. It's about 800 with a few figures. Now beyond 80, between 80 and 150, if you're buying those units within the same month, you buy them at a lower tariff, which is about 415 or 420, which we call the cooking tariff. Now, it was introduced to encourage people to cook with electricity.
Yes.
In other words, when you start cooking and you've used 80 units, the extra units you buy, because you're assuming you're cooking with electricity, you buy them at even a lower cost, and that
Okay.
is about 420 shillings
Per unit.
per unit.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and that has to be in the same month. So if you're not able to consume 80 units in 1 month, you will not benefit from the cooking
From the
tariff.
cooking tariff.
Yeah.
Okay, but so long as those 80 units are for that month, then you benefit by actually having more units, but reduced
lower
fee for
cost.
those ones. Huh?
Exactly.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So could you tell us about the time for which the EPCs can work before they actually need replacement, or is there a fixed time, a standard time for which we know that this machine will be functional? Like, is there a warranty? Is there like life expectancy for this device that around this time it may not be as useful? And if so, is there a servicing, or shall we need to get new pieces afterwards?
Okay. The electric pressure cooker is made up of a number of components,
Yes.
and that each of those components can actually be replaced when it gets faulty.
Okay.
So in other words, its lifetime, you can extend it as far as their spares are available. Like the only thing is, as years go by, you get even new better brands
Okay.
and different brands.
Yes.
So we should not worry about its lifetime, that maybe it may get spoiled within a year and you can't replace it. So every component you see, if it's a thermostat, it can be replaced. If it's a hot plate, it can be replaced. If it is the
screen.
the screen which is provided, where the cooking menu is provided, that control board panel, it can be replaced. So
Okay.
we should have that assurance that any part of it can be replaced. However, it also requires some kind of maintenance. Like you have a gasket, that gasket can get worn out, and at times it requires replacement. And whenever most people who are bringing appliances these days, they give you 1 year warrant.
Okay.
That if it gets spoiled within 1 year, they'll fix it for you. So at least we have that confidence that they can be replaced or they
Yes.
can be repaired.
Mm.
And let's treat an electric pressure cooker like any other gadget, like a car. I mean, every time cars fail, but you don't throw them away,
Yes.
but you take them to the mechanic and they get the
They
parts
fix
which
them.
have been spoiled replaced. Some of them can even be shipped inside. So even electric pressure cooker is the same. If somebody bought a pressure cooker and right now it's not functioning,
Yes.
can also explore ways of getting it repaired. At one place where we're doing electric pressure cooker repair is Makerere University CREEC. That is the Center for Research in Energy Efficiency and Energy Conservation.
Okay.
You can be sure they can repair any gadget that you have if it has gotten spoiled. Of course, the challenge at times comes if your brand is not a common one and the particular spares cannot be
used to.
used. So you get a challenge.
Okay.
And that's why I would encourage people to use brands that are mainly on the market,
Okay.
where the spares are mainly available.
Yes.
But be assured that it can be repaired.
Okay.
And usually they come with a warrant of 1 year if you get it from the supplier within
Okay.
the country. Most of them will have a warrant. There are some types that don't have a warrant, but it's good to go in for a type where you'll be assured by whoever is marketing it to give you at least a 1 year warrant.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then could you enlighten us on the different safety features as to when we are using it? What should we do? What should we not do? Should we first wait before we do something? Such things.
Okay, first of all, I'll start from the way your house is wired.
Okay.
Now, it is very important that when you're using an electric pressure cooker, your wiring in the house has been done to the right standard. Because if you have cables which were meant for lighting and they're the ones supplying your sockets, you will have a challenge. So make sure that your house has been properly wired by somebody who is certified by ERA before you go into cooking with electricity. And even when it comes to the extension cables, some of us want to use extension cables, or at times we are forced to use extension cables. That extension cable must also have the capacity to carry that current that is required to cook. So cables, extension cables, at least those which can carry at least 13 amps are okay. But even when you're using an extension cable, don't put so many pressure cookers on with the same extension cable. You can have also a challenge that the current that will be required at the same time might be much. So in terms of wiring, it's very important that your house is properly wired, which is the case with many houses. Now, but also the pressure cooker itself has some safety features which has been put into it to avoid things like explosion.
Yes.
Now, the old type of pressure cookers, the mechanical pressure cookers, used to have that risk. One time in my own house, I had an explosion.
Oh.
Beans entered the passage where the pressure is supposed to be released.
Oh, sorry.
And the pressure could not get released, so it built up and it exploded. But this time around, that doesn't happen because there is a temperature.
The thermostat.
Yeah, which will cut off the power.
Yes.
But also when the pressure is reached, it also cuts off the power. So there are some safety features that have been embedded within it, so to avoid explosions and to avoid that kind of experience which we used to have. Yeah.
Okay. And then still concerning the electricity, does the EPC need, just like certain TVs have like guards, does it need one also in case of maybe when power goes and comes back, or it will be safe without one?
Okay. Most gadgets, if the power fluctuates so much, it creates a risk
to the
device. So it's also important that wherever we are, that our power is stable.
Yes.
If it's not stable, you may need some gadget to ensure stability. But if you're running your fridge, if you're running your TV, and other devices are working, but even the pressure cooker should be able to work. Now, when the voltage drops, some pressure cookers will not even start. Like if your voltage drops to about 180, there are cases where people called us saying, I bought this gadget, but it's not working. And later on we discovered that their voltage had dropped so much. So it's important that the voltage is stable where you're working from. And we want to believe that most of the places in our urban centers, the voltage is good enough and we can confidently cook with electricity using this gadget.
Okay.
Yeah.
You have alluded to the point that there are people who we can contact in case of repairs, in case of other inquiries. Could you continue to explain that?
Yeah, so if somebody brings you an EPC and is marketing to you,
yes,
make sure that you have the after-sales service. So ask that person who is marketing to you to give you the guarantee that in case you have an issue, he can repair for you the EPC, or you can take it to a workshop.
Yes.
That's very, very important. And a number of people who actually repair the other appliances, if they can repair a flat iron, they can repair a kettle, chances are that they can also repair these electric pressure cookers. Of course, they will need to have the components to be replaced. So that's why it's very important that those who are bringing in these electric pressure cookers in bulk, actually they also bring along with them
the
spares, so that in case there is a problem, they'll have it fix it for you.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then could we now finalize with the price and whether there may be different capacities, whether there are larger ones and whether there are smaller ones, and because some people may be looking to buy a pressure cooker that works for only one person, preparing meals for only one person. So could you please tell us about that?
Yeah, so On the market right now, we mainly have, mostly we have 6 liter and 7 liter, because that's what the majority use. But there are people with bigger families that maybe require 9 or 10 liters. But even you can even make an order for 12 liter or 15.
Okay.
But as it were, those ones are not very common around, but they can be found, especially 9 liter. There's some Indian who has imported them at that capacity as well. So 9 liter is available. And the 6 liter one, I think for most people, they will sell it around 250,000. Umeme is going to be bringing a few more for some of the customers. The Umeme one will be around 200. It will be much cheaper. Or currently it's at 200, where they've been doing the pilot. So that one is likely to be a bit cheaper because it's under a project. Then the 7 liter, I think, goes for around 280. It really depends on the supplier. I mean, there are people who can even make it more than 300.
Yes.
And then the 9. With regards to purchase, actually, Chloe is the right person.
Chef Chloe.
When we go to the kitchen, Chloe is going to tell us how we can get the EPCs, where we can find her, and she will also share with us her telephone number so that we can. Yeah, but Betty wanted to bring out a point before we go to the kitchen in terms of how the savings you get can actually pay for that pressure cooker. She also works for PSave. Maybe she may want to tell us whether PSave can help us acquire these EPCs. Yeah.
Yes.
So let me hand over to Betty first.
Yes, Miss Betty, could you please?
Thank you very much, Mr. Banabe. I was just thinking through that I told you that it's now over a year using this electric pressure cooker, and I was just calculating through that I bought it at 200,000 at that time when that just came in. It was 200,000 shillings. But like we said, I used to buy a sack of charcoal at 60,000. Now just calculate 60,000, 12 months. I've actually, the 200,000 I think got done in the first 3 months. 3.5 months.
Yes.
I had already paid for my pressure cooker, and now, I'm living on
your
bonus.
Yeah.
I'm living on my bonus. Yes, I work for a SACCO called PSave. It's under Deliverance Church Uganda. It's a savings and credit. So if you want to buy for yourself a pressure cooker and maybe you don't have enough money, please come and become a member with PSave, and then we can give you a small loan so that you buy yourself a pressure cooker and save yourself a lot of stress, a lot of costs,
and a lot of time.
And a lot of time. Yes.
Yes. So, our dear viewers, thank you for listening. Thank you for tuning in. We shall now return to the kitchen and we shall come back and show you the meal that the chefs have been able to prepare. I'm getting word from our producers that we may need to give the chefs a bit more time. So as we do that, we'd like engineer Banabe to share with us still concerning the different brands which are on market, the ones which he advises us to use most, the ones which we should buy as per now. Yes, Mr. Banabe, could you please talk to us?
Yeah, as I've already said, okay, first of all, coming in, people should not be worried. Government is working on the standards so that we can have the right EPCs which will not disappoint the users. So there is a standard that is being worked on, and once that standard has come in place, it will be very easy to stop the substandard brands entering the market. But the beauty right now is that this is a new technology, and so you don't have a lot of fake stuff that are being
have been made already.
Yeah, so we can be confident that most of the technologies that you find on the market will be meeting the standard, that is the basic standard, and they'll be efficient. And then another thing that maybe I need to mention is that some people go online and buy them. You can actually go online at Jumia and buy them, but you risk having a challenge in when it gets spoiled or to execute the warrant. Some of them have a warrant even on Jumia,
Yes.
or on other some other
Other such sites. Yes.
service providers on the internet. But how do you track them to make sure that if it's spoiled, I can take it there and they fix it for me? Or how do I follow up the warrant? That's why we are advising that people who are marketing these technologies, they should assure the customers that they will have at least a warrant for 1 year to help them fix the repairs at no cost. Then the other thing is that there are already a number of people who are being trained to make sure that in case it fails, it can be repaired. So people should not worry that the technologies will be failing. As I've told you, they can be repaired, they can be fixed, and therefore the issue of repairs should not worry anybody. And the issue of the quality on the market, we've not had a case where we are having substandard products on the market. Government is working on that to make sure that there is a standard in place, and there are also other projects that government is running where you can obtain these technologies on some kind of credit, working with banks. There are some banks which are actually, like PSEV has offered members of PSEV. There are also some other banks like Centenary, which are also providing credit services for people who want to acquire these technologies and pay in installments. Yeah.
And also, I'd like to find out, given we are importing these per now, they may have been made without considering all the different foods that are being cooked in Uganda. Can we still use this to cook heavier foods now, like moloko and stuff like that? Can we prepare those things within the EPC, or we give it a few more years?
Yeah. Molokoni has been tried in these EPCs and it works.
Okay.
It's all about time. That these EPCs have a function where you can increase the time, you can extend the time.
Okay.
For example, if Molokoni is likely to take you 50 minutes, and then the EPC stops at the options available, and maybe for 30 minutes, you press the plus button to increase the time, so that Molokoni takes a bit longer, like 50. Now, but most people will pick the experience as time goes on. With time, you'll discover that maybe for Molokoni, I should put so much, or for beans, if they are very dry, I can add slightly more time. So that experience can only be gained when you're already practicing. Yeah. Maybe the other thing the chefs didn't tell us, which we need also to mention, that when you're cooking, maybe you've cooked your beans, you don't hurry to remove the pressure.
Okay.
You allow that pressure to continue cooking the beans so that they are very ready. Because at times you hurry, you release the pressure, which means you're losing energy. And by the time you open the beans, they're a little bit lacking. They needed more time.
Yes.
So that pressure can also be utilized, and so that we can completely utilize it. So it's another way of saving energy.
Yes.
You don't allow the pressure to blow, but at least continues the cooking so that it's appropriate. Now, as time goes on, we're going to have more EPCs that are customized to Ugandan food.
Okay.
Some of the importers have tried to do that. They have told the manufacturers to put the menu with the Ugandan dishes. That's why you have some that have matoke on them. So that one has been customized for the Ugandan conditions. And we're likely to see that more often as the demand for EPCs increase. So one can place an order, and you only find the Ugandan kind of dishes mentioned on the menu, which is important. Yeah.
Okay. And then, Miss Betty, as someone who has used the EPC for some time, could you please explain to us? Because while we were in the kitchen, we were not able to get knowledge from the chefs concerning how to fry. Because for the meals that we are having today, most of them we have added water and we have left them for some time. So could you please explain how then can you go from boiling your beans to now frying them?
Thank you very much. Of course, when you're done boiling the beans, like the chefs showed us, and they're done, the pressure has come down, you remove, and then do just like you would do on a sigiri
Okay.
with that.
So we can add the oil in and
Yes.
do everything
Remove the
else
beans,
as well.
put the pan back. It's time possible.
So even deep frying we can use.
Deep frying, yes.
Oh,
You can put in the pan cooking oil, still on the fry option, and then you drop in your things once the oil is ready.
Okay.
Drop in your chicken, drop in your chips, and it will do.
So it's just maybe roasting, which we have not yet been able to use it for.
Yes, roasting, not yet.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Is there anything else you'd like the viewers to know concerning the EPC? For those who may still up to this point have some withdraw, maybe having some concerns that maybe cause them not to be as convinced as we would want them to.
Maybe the other thing is if you're training your children to use them, they're very friendly. Like Mr. Banabe has told us that they're insulated, so you're not worried that maybe my child will be burnt. I have a son of 9 years. He uses it. When I'm away, I give a call, please help me put rice, and you find the rice ready.
Okay.
So even to children, they are very friendly. You won't be afraid that if I left the child with it, maybe they'll get accidents. Once you have trained them well on using it, you'll be safe, and the child will cook meals, and they'll have, they will not have to wait for you.
Another
Even
advantage.
husbands. Your husband might be finding it hard to light a cigiri right now. So they would do a good meal without stress, because with husbands, their minds are they're not multitasking like we are. So if you put them on a sigiri, you expect them to boil, they're cooking matoke, and then they have to keep checking, it is quite hard. But once they're using this electric pressure cooker, they'll put the food, the next thing they'll hear, it is an alarm. It is very easy for them, it's very friendly to them. You'll have your husband make meals also, because it is stress-free. Yes.
And then Mr. Banabe, any closing remarks?
Yeah, I just want to encourage people to ask questions in case they have issues they don't understand. It's all about us having a mindset change. There are people you go to, and when you explain to them, they say, but me, I like my gas. Or me, I like my charcoal. Then how about if power goes off? Now, even if power went off right now, or if power went off when we had gone, when the cooking had been on for halfway the time, you still have your food ready. If power went off, just don't panic. Just allow it to stay longer. The steam inside will continue cooking until the food is ready. So the other thing that people think that maybe the power will go off, I mean, it also happens when we have a TV or we have charging our phones. It eventually power comes back anyway. But we encourage people to have what we call stacking of fuels, that you have. You don't throw away the charcoal completely and the gas, but they stay on standby. That in case Umeme is doing its maintenance for 18 hours, your children don't starve. So you still have your gas somewhere, that in case power has gone off, you run to your gas and do your cooking. And also the other thing, of course, is that the electric pressure cooker gives you the benefit where it's cooking under pressure. Yeah, and when it's not cooking under pressure, you're cooking like the ordinary hot plate. But I still will tell you that charcoal is far more expensive than even using and
Electricity.
an ordinary hot plate. And I can just give you a simple explanation. When you have an ordinary hot plate, maybe which is rated 1,200 watts, and it runs for 1 hour, it will give you 1.2 units. Now, 1.2 units is like 1,200. You cannot use that charcoal of 1,000 to cook food in 1 hour, which you cook with a hot plate. So still a hot plate, even if it is not the EPC, is even far cheaper than charcoal. So people who are using charcoal, I would advise them to to try the hot plate, especially where they have power and power is stable. The price of charcoal has gone so high that it has surpassed electricity even under normal circumstances. And that's why government introduced the e-cooking tariff, so that people can now at least
Benefit.
switch to cooking with electricity.
Yes.
So we encourage people to join. And if there are issues and they don't understand, we are available to give some explanations. And I can share my number. I hope, Mr. Gibson, you can also run my number on the screen. For people who have questions they want to ask, it is 0772 629 446. That is the MTN number. The Airtel number is 0702 629 446. We can always answer any questions and help you understand this technology better. Thank you.
Yes, and again, Mr. Banabe, this may be the first in a long line of other electric devices that will help us shift from more traditional cooking to the more advanced and more forward thinking. Is there any other device that may be coming on the market after EPCs that we could maybe even use now for roasting?
Okay. The air fryers are also on the market, and the people are using them to do what you would have done. Betty, do you want to talk about air fryers? Because it's also available and people are finding it very convenient.
Thank you. Yes, the air fryers, what you would have put on the sigiri, like roasting meat or roasting chicken on the grills, those local grills, you can just put it in the air fryer.
Okay.
And then it will bring for you the same or a better result. Yeah, it's also the same. It has those instructions, it has the menu on, so you just press the buttons and it will. About the air fryers, of course, it's healthy because you don't use much oil. You don't use oil. For example, if you're putting your chicken, you just marinate the chicken and then put, of course, in the marinating you put some little oil so that the ingredients, get onto the chicken, and then after that you put in the air fryer.
Okay.
Time it the right time that they've given you, and then leave it to cook. It is quick, it is healthy,
clean,
it is clean. You will not keep turning sides.
Oh, okay.
You can go back and turn the sides, but not like on the local grills that we have. And now the fire is too much, so you're pouring some water, then you're turning the meat. It's hot. It's, the smoke is all going
it's
out.
very uncomfortable
Yeah.
and pleasant.
So the air fryers are on. You can also get yourself one.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Okay, thank you very much, our guests. Our viewers, I have been informed by our producers that the food is now ready. So we shall take a brief break and then we shall return. please show us what we should do once we have had the alarm?
Oh, so we just come here and we will release the pressure by turning this.
Okay. So we shall do this till all of it has got out, right?
Yes, because it cannot open unless it is finished.
Oh, so is that another safety
Yeah, that is
Yes.
a
such that
another-
it doesn't explode now when we are okay?
Yes, please.
As you can hear, the gas is reducing, the pressure is decreasing. Okay. So in this time we can be preparing our plates, we can be organizing all those things, setting the table and what.
Yes.
Okay. I'd like to know, because this thing is decently expensive, it would not be very ideal for someone to now buy two, right? Does one come with like two of these pans inside, such that once I've cooked this, I can set another one and then I cook something else? Or
For now, most of the people, they are owning one pan, but in case you need a pan, you can still contact me. My numbers will be there because we have the spare.
so we can buy
Pans.
pans separate, right?
Yes.
Okay. And then I'd like to know, once it is done releasing all this pressure, if let's say I have another thing I want to prepare, do I need to wait some more time, or even once I've opened it and I've removed this one, I can now start cooking the next?
Yeah, you can automatically go on and cook another thing.
Oh, I don't have to again
You don't
first
need to
let it breathe cold, then I come back.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
So as you can see, the pressure from the pressure cooker we used to cook matoke, it's over.
Okay.
So we'll ask the other
The one
of
for the
beef.
meat.
Yes. So I'm going to press the matoke.
Okay.
Oh, you open like that. And you bring out your matoke. I'm checking whether it's ready. Of course, it's ready. Don't worry. It's ready.
Very soft.
Very.
So I think we can remove this one, right?
Yes. So we are going to be serving matoke. Of course, we had already prepared our rice. So enjoy from there.
Anything different as to when you are opening than with other foods than when it's matoke?
No, it's exactly the same.
Okay, so there's not a lot we have to learn.
No.
Okay. So, dear viewers, thank you for tuning in today. I hope you've learnt a lot. I hope you have been convinced beyond reasonable doubt that you should also get yourself an EPC. The contacts that you need in order to get yourself one have been shared. So feel free to reach out to Chef Chloe or Mr. Vanabe so that you can get yourself an EPC and you enjoy meals stress-free. Thank you for tuning in. We shall see you next time. My name is Samuel and I have been your host here on the corporate world.
Can you wait a minute? We want to display the food we have been cooking for
Oh,
you.
feel free, chefs. Oh, they've prepared some for the hosts. Thank you. So I'll test the meat first, so that because we need to confirm whether it is nice and how soft it is when you cook using an EPC. The meat is actually very nice. It is very soft. It has come out better than if you had boiled it for so many hours.